welcome to the hood table, where we chop up locally and globally, Vince vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system for your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might flash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you talking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn you back and say sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hood Table one more again. Come on, hoodies, come on in. Make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to the Hood Table, please, and thank you very much. We are going to be reviewing Chapter 2 of YouTuber Timothy Blaine's newest book, which is called Murder in the Beef Sector. And again, this book, you can get it on Amazon. I actually, hold up. Let me show you guys. Here is my copy. I got it from YouTube. But if you don't want the actual copy of the book, you can also download it or buy the Kindle version on Amazon. And the price is pretty reasonable for the Kindle version. I think like $5.99. I think the book was like $12 or $14. You know, not too bad, not too bad. Matter of fact, let me put in my, hold on. Okay. Let me get my microphone. Now, I will have to step out for a minute because I was getting something delivered. I tried to get it delivered before my show, but there was nobody in our area that could do deliveries at that time, so they couldn't deliver it until after 9 o'clock. So, just in case I step out to get a delivery package, please tell the people in the chat that I will be back in like 1 or 2 minutes. So, anyway, let me get my little drink so we can get started, child. And again, we are reviewing Murder in the Beef Sector by Timothy Blaine, one of the well-known YouTubers in the beef sector on YouTube. So if you are up to Chapter 2, please feel free to comment in the chat. Give me your opinions on the different storylines that I am speaking on, and try not to go past Chapter 2 for those of people who have not made it that far. So anyway, Chapter 2. Let's get this stuff popping. Chapter 2, I got hair in my eye, is where Ralph starts writing his beef sector book. He's been taking notes, but even after, you know, having a lot of notes to go off of, it was still a bit overwhelming for him, being that there are so many different people at any given time beefing in the beef sector. Because as we all know, it's really hard at times to keep up with all the stories. If you miss a few days in the beef sector, it's like missing months. That's what it feels like sometimes. But after being doxxed by the Brainiac, Ralph was also wondering, should he give up his beliefs of not doxing? He didn't quite know how to handle this Brainiac, or what he did to him. And all the tea that was spilled on Ralph, it was all true, but it wasn't for the Brainiac to spill. So he was thinking, should I dox back or should I sue him? And if he did sue him, what would he get? Because we know the man is now living in his parents' basement, and he got fired from his job from all his YouTube ranting, rhetoric over like homosexuals and same-sex couples and marriages and, all this kind of stuff. So Ralph most likely won't be compensated for it, anytime soon if he did sue him for defamation. But the crazy thing about the Brainiac, doxing Ralph, is that the Brainiac has done his own share of criminal activities. Had it not been for him being underage, though, maybe his entire rap sheet could be found. But what he done was underage. And not only was he a master neighborhood burglar, he also spent time in juvie where he was unfortunately sexually assaulted. Now, he did fight off his attackers the best way he could. One of them, had even lost an eye from that day of attacking him. But even still, he was still gang raped while he was in juvie. But because of knowing firsthand what it's like to be assaulted, he also promised never to allow that to happen again. He promised himself that nothing like that would ever happen to him again. And what happened to Brainiac was a terrible situation. It was horrible, but it didn't have anything to do with Ralph. And since Ralph saw how Brainiac came out swinging and doxing, um, on his girl Carol, I'm sorry, the trouble. I'm sorry, how Trouble for You came out swinging and doxing on his girl Carol, he decided to reach out to Trouble. He sent him an email for some help. He didn't want to actually dox someone because he's still like, oh, I don't believe in doxing. I don't believe in doxing. But on the flip side, he definitely is willing to pay somebody else to do it for him. But Trouble for You actually just happened to stumble upon Queen Carol's personal information in a chat room. Someone who knew her from her past actually recognized her voice on YouTube and spilled her tea in the chat room. So Trouble for You literally just looked up on the information. The information literally just fell into his lap. Then he started receiving emails. Several of the people on YouTube have been able to figure out how to contact this mysterious new avatar, this hooded avatar. Ralph was actually the fourth person to email him. So after being emailed by these people on YouTube, Trouble for You was becoming really nervous. And see, the reason why was because he really did no work, not any real work, to come up with Queen Carol's information. Yet these other YouTubers were able to easily reach out to him behind the scenes. And these other YouTubers were contacting him to pay him to dox their adversaries on YouTube. But if he accepted the offers, he then have to now be much more discreet, because if other YouTubers can reach out to him, then so can the people he's doxing, and so can their attorneys. That is, if they were to hire any. Now, as far as Ralph, he had no idea what Carol was up to. Carol has been under the impression that someone from her past is trying to sabotage her, possibly even a family member of her deceased husband. She was left a substantial amount of money after her husband died. And if his family were to find out, especially his sisters, that she was born a he, then her fortune could be in jeopardy. Because keep in mind, back then, same-sex marriages were not as legal as they were these days. So enters private detective Athena Wells, who has took to Carol's case. Wells was referred to Carol by one of the associates of her deceased husband. Wells, who also is familiar with YouTube, already knew about Carol's situation. Along with that, Detective Wells also happened to be, tuned in with when Trouble for You dropped the bomb about Carol's past. So the detective was more willing to help Carol find out the person behind the hooded avatar. And the Brainiac, excuse me, the Brainiac, they were trying to figure out who was behind Trouble for You as well. See, the detective, she was more than willing to help Carol, because to her it seemed like what was going on was doxing on steroids. The detective had no idea if it was just random people being doxed or not, or if the person collecting everyone's personal information would eventually try to blackmail content creators for money to keep their past or present discretions in the closet. Either way, using doxers high IP address, Wells located the doxer with a sheet as well in Vegas, and now she is preparing for a trip. And right here is where I'm going to take a brief break because my package is here at the door, and I shall return in one moment. Okay, I'm back. Thanks for waiting. Thanks for being patient. That was my package. Again, I had ordered it ahead of time before my show was to start, but unfortunately they couldn't deliver it till now because they didn't have any drivers. So now that I done ran through the house, ran outside, and ran back ran back in, I'm out of breath. Hold on. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. Where were we? Um, we were talking about the detective, right? Carol and the detective. Okay, yeah. The detective, she think that she's came across the doxer using their IP address, and she found out they have a rap sheet and they live in Vegas, so she's now preparing for a trip. Now, Carol, who just knew that Ralph would be excited to find out that Athena is on Trouble for You's trail, was very mistaken. Not knowing that Carol has hired a professional is very concerning for Ralph now that he knows that. Because he just hired Trouble for You to dox the Brainiac. And if Wells successfully tracks down him, will he then reveal the name of those who hired him to continue doxing? Like the name of Ralph and other YouTubers who paid him to dox their adversaries? You know how I go. You know how I go. But anyway, uh, let's move on to Heavenly. Okay, Carmen Heavenly Brown, aka Miss Heavenly, or Miss Demonic, as Ralph likes to call her. She was up stirring trouble online. She was just a ranting and raving about Queen Carol, calling her he, she's, and bitch niggas and child. She was getting a good old kiki out of knowing, that Carol was also married to a man that was in his 90s, at the time of his death. But Carol wasn't the only person Miss Heavenly was doing commentary on. After the tea got spilled on her boy Brainiac, because they in a YouTube ship, right? But she had to bring that up as well. And this right here is what can get in the way of a YouTube ship on YouTube. You see, Miss Heavenly and the Brainiac, they do have a YouTube ship. But does that mean they can't do commentary on each other? Some might say yes, some might say no. But we know for sure that two particular women on YouTube in real life fell out behind one of them doing commentary on the other. And we also know that still to this day, some YouTubers will tell you straight up if you are cool with them to not speak on them, unless, of course, it's something positive. Mm-hmm. But anywho, during Miss Heavenly's commentary, she was like, "Now, Brainiac, just in case you come across this video, I'm just doing my job, which is to discuss the tea, and that is how he was repeatedly gang raped at a juvenile facility. Boy, Brainiac could not believe that somebody who's in a YouTube shit would go on their channel and do commentary on the tea that was spilled on him. And those of y'all new to YouTube, the beef sector is cutthroat. For that information to be so sensitive, them folks don't give a damn about him being gang raped. It was all commentary for them. Nothing is off limit in the sector for content creators. But even after being doxxed, the Brainiac went live the very next morning to take calls, which was probably a mistake because caller after caller was only calling to antagonize him about his assault. One caller asked, "Was that incident the reason why you turned gay?" Another asked, "So do you believe a man can be turned out for life after going through what you went through?" And a third caller asked him, "Did his booty hole ever go back to normal?" I'm like, a young boy was gang raped. Yeah, people are so cruel. They are so cruel. The Brainiac, in return, he did take some digs. He was clapping back at the callers. But me personally, I would have closed down those phone lines. Hell, I would have logged off the whole internet for the rest of the day. That's what I would have done, which is actually what some people do in real life on YouTube. And we see that all the time. A content creator or a subscriber gets humiliated in the B sector and then go ghost on us until they think that is safe to return to the platform. But in this case, knowing that people will use that act of violence against him as a weapon when beefing with him, somebody was going to pay dearly for bringing it to the B sector. And after Brainiac went live, he did end up, missing for YouTube for about a week, I believe. And one person in particular who took notice of that was again Miss Heavenly doing her commentary on her channel. She done put out an APB on the Brainiac, asking folks, "Have you seen him? Tell me, have you seen him?" And knowing how others are, man, if you in the B sector, if you on YouTube, period, people are nosy. People are very nosy and they want to know everything that's going on with your life. So she knew others was nosy too. So she started asking her viewers if anybody has heard from the Brainiac. The reason, though, for the Brainiac being MIA wasn't just from being embarrassed and humiliated on YouTube. He was out there in the real streets handling some much needed business. He had made it his mission to find out who leaked his assault to the Brainiac. Man, who had leaked his assault. And so while everyone on YouTube was wondering where he was running up on people with a gun and a taser. Child. Whew. Child, the Brainiac then came across one of his assailants from juvie. It was three guys. Three guys had talked to him when he was in juvie. One of them was already dead, so he had already died years ago. The other one was doing life upstate for a crime he had did with like his gang members or something like that. Which left the third guy to be more likely the one who spoke to the doctor, who spoke to the Brainiac. So what had happened was, because the Brainiac had never told anyone about the incident, not even the staff at the juvenile facility, that led him to Peanut's doorstep, with a taser and a gun in tow. The Brainiac was zapping the shit out of Peanut, who still wasn't revealing no information. That wasn't until the Brainiac put out a 38 on that ass. Then he was singing like a damn canary, telling everything. But evidently, Peanut had been approached by somebody pretending to be a cop investigating the juvenile facility. And he was able to convince Peanut to open up. Come to find out, not only was he assaulted, but so was Peanut, which was why Peanut gave props to him for taking out the eyeballs from one of his attackers. But while explaining all of this, it also came out that the assault on him was done as an initiation. And of course, that didn't make him feel better, but it did make him feel differently about Peanut knowing that he was assaulted as well for, to assault him. So Peanut ended up giving him the description of the fake cop and the vehicle that was driven, which was an average looking tall, black, older, bald man driving a faded light blue old school BMW, leaving him with something now solid to go on. But back to Heavenly, who was hoping that her YouTube shit wasn't in jeopardy from her doing commentary on him. She was truly concerned about him, enough to hit him up on his cell phone, but to no avail. He would not accept any of her calls. Then she called the landline, reaching his mother. The mother didn't even know where her son was, which was not normal, because she said in the past he's always told somebody where he was going. So the mother, she's even now more worried than Heavenly. And that is what caused the Brainiac to come out of hiding. Or should I say investigating? He must have jumped out the bushes so fast in the middle of Heavenly's live and said, drop the link. Drop the link. And once in the stream, he immediately went off on her for bringing his mother into this. Now, don't this remind you of another YouTuber who called somebody's mother live on their show? I ain't gonna say no names. But anywho, he made it very clear that he ain't got to report to nobody on YouTube about his whereabouts. And if he wants to take a break, he damn well can. He damn well can. And continue to get down to the bottom of all this doxing and everything. But anywho, as if he wasn't doing the same thing. But anywho, the last person I want to talk about on here is Trina, aka Methuselah, and Shirley, aka the Dragon. And there's a new chick on here. There's a new chick on YouTube now. Well, actually, she's been on there for a while, but we just get introduced to her in chapter 2, and her name is Girl Blue, aka Alfreda Johnson. And we find out that Alfreda, or Girl Blue, is a single mom of 4 kids, all under 14 years old, who is raising her kids with the help of the state or the government. You know, welfare, food stamps, subsidized housing, etc., etc. She found herself in a situation after losing a leg at a manufacturing job that she had, followed by her man at the time leaving her to fend for herself. None of the YouTubers in the beef sector was aware of any of that, at least not yet. And in the midst of her trying to keep her family together, finding herself on YouTube was for her like heaven sent. She was soon able to build up her platform along with a little cloud in the B sector. And of course, those nice checks from Google every month, including super chats, really helped her and her family out. And everything was going great. That was up until Girl Blue decided to do commentary on Trina, aka Methuselah, and the dragon situation. The YouTuber, Shirley, she was locked up after vacation with her ex-girlfriend Trina, the other YouTuber. But now that Dragon is out of jail, we know that she has been seeking revenge against Trina. And once Trina found out that her ex was released, she done fled from social media, including YouTube. But now she's back on YouTube. She's just not going by Trina now. She's going by Methuselah. So Methuselah, she's back on using a different name, using a different avatar, so that nobody can recognize her. And Arrow Blue did commentary. She decided to class how the beef started YouTube in the beef sector, and a lot of times the beefs are manufactured. Like when Girl Blue did her commentary, it wasn't like she was coming at her, attacking her. She was just talking about what she's seen, talking about what's already out there. And some people, when they see people doing commentary on them, they create a beef. They manufacture a beef and they just go at that person just because they're talking about them. As if they think they can talk about anybody they damn well please, but can't nobody talk about them. Again, I say names. But anyway, Girl Blue wanted to clap back, but not with words in her commentary. She wanted to hit her where it hurts. Methuselah, aka Trina, wanted to hit Girl Blue back where it hurts. At first, she contacted CPS and tried to get her children removed. After that was unsuccessful, she then reported Blue to the IRS. But thankfully, IRS didn't care anything about them coins that Blue was making on YouTube. So as a last resort, Tina reported Blue to her welfare caseworker. And once the dragon found out what Trina did, she even more so wanted to go after her. But how could she landing back up in jail or being banned for the internet? Because the judge told her if she has one more incident, especially online, she can face being locked up again or face being banned from YouTube or both. So what she has to do has to be incognito, right? Mm-hmm. She got to do things behind the scene so as not to let it be known that it's actually her coming after Trina. And y'all, I was cracking up when I had a dragon and broke into Trina's house and kidnapped her cat. She didn't kidnap the girl's cat. The cat's name is Thelma. She done named the cat Thelma after one of her favorite characters on the old Good Times sitcom. And Thelma is now MIA. To haunt Trina, the dragon went live on YouTube wearing a set of cat ears. A set of cat ears to taunt her. So she knew that if she saw her show, that she would probably put 2 and 2 together and realize who it was who kidnapped her cat. Child, this shit is getting good. This shit is getting good. And her subscribers, The dragon, her subscribers were asking her, what's up with the cat ears? They typing all in the chat. When do you get the cat ears? What the cat ears represent, whatever. And she just ignored them. She didn't respond to any comment that was referring to the cat ears. She just thanked them for staying down with her, while she was locked up and still supporting her once she was released. There was only one person who she needed to know exactly what their cat ears represented. And that was Trina, aka Methuselah. But that is my review on chapter 2. Chapter 3 will be out in probably this weekend, because starting tomorrow we're gonna get caught back up on the R. Kelly trial. I owe y'all, child, I owe y'all so many videos on R. Kelly. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to push some of the dates together, because at first we was going day by day, but because of my busy work schedule, I haven't been able to keep up on that, and also on my reviews on my TV shows and other things as well. So don't worry, don't fret. I will catch you guys back on for the people who are interested in the R. Kelly trial. Okay, so make sure you guys again like and share this video, subscribe to the Hood Table if you're not already subscribed. Stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times, and always remember to keep it hood. Bye.